Hello creators, how are you guys? It's great to hang out with you again for another Video Creators Podcast episode / live stream. Every week we just want to help you guys grow your audiences and your businesses, not just for the sake of views, money, popularity, subscribers, or whatever, but using all those things as tools to really reach people and change their lives. And the thing that makes all that possible is making money. It's generating revenue. It's making sales. And Owen is here from Owen Video, the YouTube channel, to talk with us about that here today. Hey, Owen, how are you doing, man?
Hey, man, Tim, thanks for having me. Good to see all of you out there today, spending time on a Monday to get content that's going to grow your business. I love seeing that energy and that excitement. And I would love to know what your channel's about. If you want to tell us in the comment section, it would be great to kind of know what you're up to as we're going into this very important topic of conversation today.
Yeah, it'd be great. So you guys are watching live, you can go ahead and do that. If you're listening to the podcast recording of this later, you can't do that, but we're still going to give you amazing value here and really want to help you guys learn how to sell. Now, Owen and I did a video on my channel. I'll let you know, I'll introduce him in a second, but we did a video on my channel last week, actually, I think it was.
Yeah.
Talking about how do you sell on YouTube without being slimy? Because a lot of creators and even business owners, they have sometimes this a perception of hi, I want to sell this thing, but I don't want it to feel like it's coming across in people's faces, or that I'm just in it for money, or that it's, whatever. And some people are like, I don't care. It really is just about the money. I'm gonna sell whatever I can. So we talked a little bit about that, but it was a really good conversation. What you guys don't know behind the scenes of what happened with that video is my editor, Julia, did a fantastic job at taking all of that. It was actually a half-hour conversation that we had and edited it down to about 2 minutes. Right. Or no, I'm sorry, 7 minutes. 7 minutes. And I watched that video. It felt real natural. Felt really good. I was like, wow, she did a really good job with this. But I know everything you guys missed in that conversation with Owen. I know everything that got cut out, and my editor had to make some really hard decisions. What do we leave in? What do we take out? And so it was really good, really helpful, valuable content in that video. But I was like, Owen, I texted him yesterday. I'm like, we need to have a conversation about this so that people in the live stream can actually ask questions and we can give them some feedback and some answers, because that video surfaced a lot of questions for people. And I also wanted to go in this a little bit deeper for you guys who are like, okay, this is important to me. So I want to talk about how do we sell and a strategy on your channel for how to do that with Owen. And then we're going to actually talk about, how to craft videos for that and things like that. So we're going to dive into it here with you guys. But before we dive in, first of all, I haven't seen my producer Laura in chat yet, but she said earlier today she's coming. And I just wanted to say that today is her birthday. So if you guys are here in the chat, when you see Laura show up, make sure you all say happy birthday to Laura and thank her for all the hard work that she does here on the producing these shows and these live streams for you guys, and the videos. She does a lot with those too. So I really appreciate her, especially on her birthday today.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Owen, tell us a little bit about your story, your backstory, how you got started on YouTube, and how you what brought your business, your video marketing school to where it is today.
Yeah, thanks so much. I'm Owen Video, founder of the Video Marketing School. And what I do is I help entrepreneurs learn the art and science of online video. I got started in video marketing when I was 9 years old. Christmas morning, under the tree, we had 2 big presents and lots of little candy. We grew up in Long Beach, California. Wasn't a ton of money going through the house at that time. But my dad, he worked all season and got us a brand new Nintendo. No one had ever seen Nintendo before. And a video camera, one of these big shoulder mount video cameras. You put the whole VHS cassette tape inside. I played Nintendo for about 15 minutes, but I played with the camera for about 15 years. Always had a camera in my hand all through middle school, high school, doing short films and just funny sketch comedy. And I think comedy is sort of where my heart is at. It went through a series of jobs in media. I sold newspaper advertising. I sold radio advertising, even did a little bit of TV. And I was fired from a lot of those jobs. I'm not a real corporate guy. I don't do well with like I am your boss kind of thing. And I remember at the radio station, Brian G. Johnson's logging in. I remember at the radio station, my boss had said something to me about a client, and I kind of looked over from my cubicle, and I was like, "Don't ever talk to me about my clients without an appointment." And I was let go shortly thereafter. But it was that trigger, Tim. I was number one in sales at the company at the time, and I thought, even as number one in sales, I'm not safe here. I'm just not safe here. And I'm tired of like trying to live this rat race. And so I decided to take my video camera and invest some time into school and learn video marketing. I was going to become a film director, a filmmaker. I remember driving home that day and saying, you know what? I would rather be poor than be fired ever again. And so I was going to be a poor filmmaker. But let me tell you something. It was the big change of my life, because as I enrolled in college, I was 30 years old. So I was not a young college kid. I was 30 years old, going back to school, kind of starting fresh. And they put those cameras in my hand, and I had to create. I had to go make video. So I went knocking on doors in the local business community, and I'd say, hey, I'll make a video for you right now at $20. I'll make a video for you right now. Come back next week. Okay, if I come back, it's $97, and I'd kind of have this whole upsell process.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Well, did very well with that. And that is how I began my YouTube adventure. Is I started uploading videos that would teach my customers like what to do with the video I made for them. Right? Like, oh, I made you this video. Now what can you do with it? This is probably like 2008, 2009. And so YouTube is still very new. It's in its infancy. But we did very well, not only on YouTube creating tutorial videos for business owners, but we also did very well financially as a company, selling our video making skills as a business. And so I'm sort of bringing both of those perspectives to the table today. Is what is it like to be a creator where you want your channel to grow, you want to get your videos out there and discovered, but you've got a product to sell, or you want to sell a product. Maybe you do some Etsy, you have an Etsy website, or maybe you've got a service that you provide. Maybe you're a contractor, or you sell gardening vegetables and seeds and stuff. Well, there's a certain way to do that. And hopefully today we can talk about the right way to make sales videos for your channel.
Yeah, totally. Because a lot of creators are doing it poorly. I actually, let me not get ahead of my story here. But so if people want to find out more about you, you have a whole channel about this stuff now. You have a whole business, your YouTube channel. You guys can find it. It's linked up in the show notes or in the description of this live stream. And just look up Owen Video on YouTube. You'll find him. And then your video marketing school, tell us about that real quick, and then we'll jump in.
The video marketing school is sort of the combination of the culmination of everything that we've been working on for the last couple of years. I've been doing a lot of one-to-one consulting with big brands, and you kind of come in and you'll share with this brand like this amazing video strategy, right? Hey, we're going to do this. We'll do some retargeting ads. We'll make these videos, and you kind of get signed on with the brand. They hire you, but they never do the video, or the video gets caught in legal, right? And, all of a sudden you don't have any work to show over the last year. Now you got a bank account full of money. Don't get me wrong. Like, this has happened more than once, folks, where the company hires us and then does nothing, or they let us do all this work and it sits in this sort of vat, this pile that legal is going to one day go through and maybe release. Well, as an artist, like, I was getting really frustrated seeing my ideas sit in this like never ending, never going to be approved thing. I was getting really frustrated meeting one-on-one with clients that at the end of the day were too busy running their businesses to make video. And so the video marketing school was our sort of transition from the one-to-one done for you work, and instead moving to this area where we could help business owners, entrepreneurs, creators master the craft of video marketing. And so what we've been doing is we've been recording a ton of trainings, And you can go to thevideomarketingschool.com and check out the different trainings that we're offering, designed to teach YouTube basics, Facebook video basics, sales video basics, and so on and so forth. So with the Video Marketing School, you can sort of log in. You can get a membership for $37 a month. It's so freaking cheap. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you have access to all the video trainings we've been making for the last 3 years, and they're continuing to grow. So we're very excited about this new adventure, the Video Marketing School.
Great. Cool. You guys can check that out as well. And there'll be links down below for that. So in terms of why do we actually sell, we want to get into your questions, guys, like we do every time here. So Laura's going to be taking your questions out of the chat. So as Owen and I kind of walk through this, please feel free to ask your questions. Laura will put them in front of us, and then we'll jump through, try to answer as many of them as we can for you guys here in a bit. So looking forward to doing that. But when it comes to selling, I think there's some things that some creators think. They're like, well, if you're a traditional like YouTuber, for example, you're like, oh, I don't need to learn how to sell. Like, I'm just going to take AdSense and do brand deals. I'm like, yes, but to do brand deals, you're selling someone else's product for them. And the reason that brand would want to keep working with you is because you did a good job selling that product, right?
Right.
And then you have to think like, well, actually, in order to land that deal, you have to sell yourself to the brand in order to do the brand deal in the first place. So you got to sell yourself. And then there's kind of like a quote unquote selling yourself to someone who's thinking about subscribing to your channel. Like you got to make that pitch for them. How do you do that? Or like in my case, in your case, Owen, and a lot of people who are business owners, they are selling their products like they're directly through their videos or their videos are like lead generation or something like that for their business. And so I think that this is a skill that everyone needs to learn, regardless of whether or not you like plan on feeling like you're selling something. I actually did a deal not too long ago with a brand, and they said, Tim, we worked with a lot of different creators, and you were the smallest channel we worked with, but you converted 18 times higher than the largest channel we worked with.
That's so big.
And they're like, and that's why I charge like 3 times, 5 times more than a lot of other channels my size, because I know how to sell. I've learned that skill. And so that brand wants to keep working with me, even though I'm not a huge channel, but because I brought such tremendous value to them. But I think I learned that because out of necessity myself, like you, when I was fired from my last full-time, well, not full-time job, I'm full-time now, but like my last employee gig. And, like you, I was like, never again, like I don't like everything. I don't like losing everything in one fell swoop. So, so I was forced out of necessity to learn how to sell because I started growing this at the time. And one of the best books that was super helpful for me was Pitch Anything.
Great.
Have you read that book?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I can't remember Owen or Owen, I think is the guy's name who wrote it. But really super helpful book, and that really helped me get started. So whether you guys think you need to sell or not, I'm telling you that you do. And this is a skill that you'll need to learn if you're ever going to make money online, if you're going to grow a business, if you're going to grow a YouTube channel. Learning the skill of selling is important for all of us. So
yeah,
definitely very important. So let's talk about the video strategy I use. I feel like this is similar, based on what I know about you, Owen. This is similar to what you do. 3 different types of videos.
Yes.
And then we'll talk about how you actually sell. So one of the downsides, you guys, to just being like what most marketers do, and they're growing YouTube channel, like the goal of every single video is to sell. Every video is like, go to my website and sign up for this lead magnet. Go to my website and sign up for, my free guide or whatever. Like the goal of every single video is to try to do that. But we know from YouTube's perspective, their goal is actually they want people to stay on YouTube as long as possible. They want people to consume more content and more videos. And so it's if people don't click your link, then that's fine. You can grow a channel still. But you actually want to create content that is getting a high click-through rate, and you want to design and craft your videos in a way that do get people to sign up, to leave YouTube and to go register for your thing or buy your thing or sign up or whatever the case might be. And so if that's not happening, then there's another problem. But what we want to talk about here with you guys, first of all, is 3 different types of videos that I think you should have in your channels in order to sell the most effectively. Number one, I feel like I'm just taking over here, but number one is like you should have content that's really discoverable. And the goal here is like just bring people into your channel, and the main call to action of that video is to get people to click and watch another video. Keep them on YouTube, keep them watching and engaging with more and more videos on your channel. And that's a really positive signal, and makes that video more likely to actually become surfaced and discoverable, because YouTube's like, hey, we surfaced this video to people. They spend another 30 minutes watching YouTube. They go down this rabbit trail right here. It's very predictable. We want to surface this video, as opposed to like video B that like ends the viewing session. Everyone leaves YouTube when they get to that video. Google's like, I don't want to surface this video to anybody, right? So they don't. Number two is community videos. Like these are the videos that are just designed to go out or designed to take the people that came into your channel for the discoverable content, go them into a community. The main call to action there is like to engage in some way, like comment and interaction of some sort. I talked about these in a previous episode. You guys go back to 2 episodes ago if you want to dive into these in more detail. But then there's the third video, which is strategy which is sales. And that is like, okay, I brought people into my channel with discoverable, I engaged them with community, and now I'm capitalizing that like same way you would with an email funnel, like a lead magnet, like and trust emails, and then sale. That's what we're doing. The goal of that video is get people off YouTube. So I just published one of those myself, like last week. I announced that a new video session of Video Labs is opening. It's only open to 25 or 27 people, first come first serve basis. Click the link down below, go sign up. So right now it's like a week later, Video Labs is sold out. Again, it does every single time. So I could probably just make that video private or unlisted because it served its purpose. It did what it was supposed to do. Yeah. And I could take that one down now if I want. So those are the 3. Do you have anything to add to any of that, Owen? I'm sure you do, before we dive into your formula.
We might have a couple other categories in there, like sponsor videos or sort of affiliate videos, and these kind of could fall into the same sales category. But we also
personally,
we also have brand deals, and we have other obligations that we need to meet on the channel, and so there are sort of those different categories in there. But largely, the purpose of YouTube is to grow the channel. Would you guys agree? Right? The purpose of YouTube is to grow your channel. I want to hear from you in the comment section if you agree that that's your primary goal. But what is the end? Do you want to have 4 billion subscribers, with even more views on a new upload, but no money, right? Maybe you're demonetized or whatever. At the end of the day, money and finances is what fuels our artistic ability to thrive, right? It's what fuels us and it enables us to go forward with future videos and better videos moving forward. And so you've got to really have discoverable videos in order to have successful sales videos. It would be fraudulent thinking to believe that you're going to make a sales video, and because you've got 10,000 subs or more, that people will buy. Oh, there's enough people.
Yeah.
But when you really look at this logically, you've got, let's just say you got 50,000 subs like me. 50,000 subs, how many people are actually going to see the video on upload, right? Maybe 5%, right? 5% see the video on upload. And then you eliminate, for me, how many of those people are already customers. You eliminate how many of those people can't afford it. Just period, they want it, but they can't afford it. And then you eliminate sort of the people that are just not interested right now. And I'm kind of going through the ARCH model of customer awareness. Like they're aware, they do research, they're a hot topic. It's very, very few people. And so, creating a sales video is really, it's part of a process where you're sort of piquing interest. In fact, Shane Dawson followed this exact same process launching the makeup line, right? Is first you got to sort of gauge interest in a thing and then maybe make a bigger deal out of it. And then finally sort of hit them with that call to action. But if you can be doing this on a regular basis, where a sales video becomes part of your business model, right? Your YouTube business model. Because for me, waiting for AdSense to kick in was not a business model, right? It puts me in that same position of I can be fired someday. And so many of my friends were fired when that algorithm change hit. Now, my channel was hit pretty hard by that too, in terms of new views, 24-hour views, and that's frustrating. But we've got so much money though. You know what I mean? And
Well,
I'm not saying that in a dastardly way. I'm saying that in a way that like my family was okay because we had built a business with recurring revenue where YouTube was feeding our business model. And so we were sort of protected against algorithm changes.
Yeah, when you own your audience, when you own your customers' info, and you can follow up and interact and engage with them, it's much, in my opinion, it's a much, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say secure, not necessarily.
But it is secure. Like it gives you this.
Maybe.
Yeah, predictable is great. I love that. Predictable is great, but also gives us as artists sort of the free agency or the protection of maybe not taking on that freelance client if you're freelancing on the side, or maybe like lowering your hours at the store to 4 days a week because you can pursue your creative abilities. You know, what I tell my clients, we meet in a private mastermind, is that your revenue is your superpower, right? You can invest in your video and in your marketing and to make it look better and outperform, whereas others that are not generating revenue are sort of stuck with the same zero budget month after month.
Yeah.
And so by earning some extra revenue on your channel, you're increasing your competitiveness in the marketplace.
Yeah. And what I say around here at Video Creators is money is not the goal. If it's a goal, it'll ruin your life. But money is an amazing tool that you would use to reach people. So the more money you have, the more sustainable your content is, the more people you can hire, the more you can expand, reach more people, change their lives with the message that you're spreading, with the thing that your business is doing. So to me, that's really important. We got a lot of really good questions coming in here.
Great.
So let's talk about your great video formula, and then I want to dive into some of them here. So now that you guys know like why you should sell, and then in terms of like discoverable community and sales videos and how each video has a specific goal behind it, then if someone's doing a sales video, Owen, how would you, they've like never tried to sell anything before, or they have and it hasn't worked.
Yeah.
What process would you give them for what maybe something they should consider when they're getting started? How do I sell on YouTube?
So I want to give you guys a cut and dry step-by-step formula for creating a sales video. This formula is not something I invented. I came from radio and TV, and we had formulas there. However, I did adapt sort of the traditional, 30, 60-minute infomercial model into something that works on YouTube and works surprisingly well on Facebook as well. But with Facebook, you're in a different pacing. You want a faster, shorter video, not a longer content video. So I want to give you guys sort of a 5-step process that we follow for making sales videos. But I want to preface that by saying that your sales videos are different from your other content on the channel, right? It's going to have a slightly different structure. Your goal is going to be to dress that video up to look and feel like your normal channel. Nobody wants, I'm just going to pull out, Odd Haven here. I'm just pulling out a name. Like if Odd Haven is doing videos, on let me show you how to care for a puppy, 4 days a week. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, everybody, how you doing today? I'm going to sell you a leash and you're going to get this leash and this whole monthly subscription dog packet. Like that's not going to work, right?
Yeah, it feels like a commercial. They're like, hey, I didn't sign up for this.
Perfect. You're going to lose drop through. Your views are going to tank, right? You want to make this an enjoyable experience for them. And the Harmon brothers have done very well with this. They did chat books. They did, a variety of other products. The unicorn one escapes me. The Squatty Potty.
Squatty Potty. Then I did like the duct tape one. That's better than duct tape. I forget what it's called.
So good. Yeah, the Fiber Fix.
There you go.
I'll tell you guys, for a lesson in entertaining commercial video ads, it's a Fiber Fix is a great example. So let me preface that by saying this is that your sales videos will be a little bit different. And you really should have something to sell here. I saw a question come in, what should I sell? We can get into that, but I think a lot of you already have an idea. Yeah. Do you already know what you would sell? Let me know in the comments. I think that you probably have something that you want to sell or that you're going to sell if only you knew how. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about making a great sales video and the 5 components of a great sales video. So we're going to use the acronym GREAT. Okay, so you guys following me on that? GREAT. Starting with G, you first got to grab attention. Now, you're all experienced YouTubers. You understand the hook. Grabbing attention is the hook, right? You want to bring your audience in, and you don't need to bring them in by letting them know you're going to sell or ask for money, right? You don't need to reveal that in the beginning. You want to bring them into your video the same way, using the same strategies that you always use to bring people into your video. For example, we just found the most amazing iPhone case. Check this out, right? You show a shot of your iPhone tumbling off a mountain and it falls. Hey, I'm going to show, not a crack in it. Today, I'm going to show you this iPhone case that's going to knock your socks off. 3 things I really loved about it. Stay tuned, right? Your bumper comes in, and then you kind of move on to the next section of your video. So you've got to grab attention, but you don't need a cheesy hook, right? If it's cheesy or slimy or it feels weird, you're doing it wrong. Okay, that's not the way we sell. That's not what selling is. Selling is value communication. Selling is a commercial transaction. You're asking someone to invest their money with you directly instead of indirectly through advertising or people advertising on your channel or these different types of things.
I read a really good book that's called Thou Shalt Prosper. And Daniel Lapin, I think his name is.
Yeah, Daniel Lapin, sure, rabbi.
Yeah, and he said that he defined money as certificates of appreciation.
Love
and
it.
So when you are, and that like to me like changed everything. I was like, oh, I'm not actually saying like I'm not trying to take something from people. I'm actually like, look, this is valuable to you. And I know it is because I've seen what it does for people's lives and their channels and things. And so like when I started thinking about money and certificates of appreciation, it was more of a value exchange than like, and as a trade rather than me trying to extract value from someone, which is how I felt when I started selling at first. So like, oh no, they're giving me money to let me know that they appreciate this. And this is how much they appreciate it by giving me these certificates of appreciation.
And for many of you, your audience wants to appreciate you. They want to. Asking your viewers to join your Patreon or to join your YouTube subscription is a sales video. And if you haven't had much success there, it's probably because you're making content videos that ask someone to join Patreon, which you haven't prepared them mentally to receive a call to action from you. Right. And so part of this great formula is laying the groundwork. You know, my family and I, we love to go hiking. And I have small kids, so we can't go on really monstrous hikes. It's usually flat stuff by the beach. And we went on this one trail, and it was after a storm, and there was like trash cans turned over, some rocks and sticks in the way. And it was very hard to get to our destination. For many of you, selling your product or selling your service is like that pathway, right? You've sort of got all these roadblocks in the way, and those roadblocks are like wishy-washy language. So, hey, you know, if you want to help out, you know, you can come out to the link. It's somewhere here, right? Just floppy language, nothing real firm. It could be the lack of existing video. You have no sales video, so people cannot buy from you. And what this great formula does is sort of cleans up the pathway. It sort of gets the trash cans out of the way, gets the shrubbery out of the way so that your customer has a clear path to your website or to your landing page where they can exchange their money for your service. Okay. So G is you gotta grab attention. You've gotta hook them in. And typically we do that by talking about a problem you're going to solve. Okay, you'll see a greater exchange, greater sales when you talk very specifically about a problem that you solve. Most of you that sell products already, I saw a gardening channel sort of logging in. You probably sell shrubberies or berries or something, maybe even wines that you make on property. So there's probably many problems that you solve, which means you can make many videos that solve a problem. So step 2 is to restate the problem. So we grab them in, and then we restate the problem after the intro and after we've done our, hey, it's Jim from YouTube. Subscribe if you get a chance. We're live twice a week on Mondays and Wednesdays, right? You kind of do all your staple stuff, and then you restate the problem. And this is where you really have to poke the bear, okay? You really need to agitate the problem. So if I'm selling Tim's course, I might say something like, look, you're a YouTuber, and let's face it, you're not growing. I mean, not only are you not growing, you're dying on the vine. You wake up every single day wondering if this is going to be the day you turn off your channel. Well, look, pal, that misery can end today, right? So you're not just, hey, for those of you struggling with X, Y, and Z, you really want to show them you know them by illustrating the problems that they have, okay? And you know those problems because you provide solutions. E is that GRE. E is explain your solution. Now, notice I didn't say the solution or a solution. You are explaining your solution, and you want to use verbiage that is specific to your company. We talk about framing your offer. Just as you would frame your YouTube video so that my logo's here, my mic is here, and my head stands off the background. In fact, I probably should be a little bit over here, but I framed up the video, right? There was care in how I'm delivering this to you. You notice how I didn't just jump on a video creator thing on my mobile and be like, hi, Tim, right? Because I care enough about you, and I so madly respect what Tim's built, that I want to make it easy for you to consume. I don't want you to think about my background and my props and all that kind of stuff. It's the same with your offer, right? Are you making it easy to consume your offer? So if you're a service-based business, I work with a lot of clients like Roush Seilers, who's in the audience today, who's a social media marketing professional, right? If you go to a customer and you're like, hey, I do social media marketing, want to talk about it? You've brought up more questions than you have answers. You want to have a solution that's well framed and rolls off the lips, kind of like a YouTube video would, like a good title. So for example, if I were a social media marketer, I would say, hey, I'm a social media marketer and I have a package called the 1 lead a day social package. Would you like to know more about that? And all of a sudden I'd sort of gone from I do social media marketing to I have this 1 lead a day program. A great example of this is when I was working in radio, I had a client that sold kitchens, and they were doing kitchen remodeling. So dull and boring, right? So we changed it to kitchen in a day, or excuse me, kitchen in a week. Kitchen in a week. I got my kitchen in just 7 days. And all of a sudden we had a frame that separated us and made it our solution, not just a solution. So explain your solution. Hey, I'll tell you what, you're having a hard time growing shrubberies. Your blackberry bushes, they literally died on the vine. Your neighbors are making fun of you. The kids from the neighborhood, they're egging your house. Nobody likes your plants. Look, we've created this perfect shrubbery package called the 30 days till full grown package. And we can ship these right to your house. And what you get is A, B, C, and D. And you're sort of listing out all the fine points of this product or this service that you provide. So in this E, explain your solution. You want to have a well-packaged offer, and you want to have a series of bullet points that explain why that solution will solve the problem that you were just agitating a second ago.
Good. Yeah.
We good?
Yeah.
We
yeah.
good?
We got a lot of good questions, so I'm excited to dive in here.
Okay.
So GRE and then A?
A is this is where everybody messes up. You need actual proof, right? 9 out of 10 scientists agree, right? Yeah, right. 9 out of 10 dentists agree. This poisonous toothpaste is perfect for you. Made from Chinese recycled industrial waste. Perfect for your teeth. Give me a break, guys. It's not actual proof, but it's so effective in making a purchase decision. You want to provide actual proof. Provide at least 3 statements. Typically, you want to use numbers, right? So I know I just can't use like 9 out of 10 doctors agree, but you want to sort of ask people that have experienced your product beforehand, right? For feedback. What did you think about the product? How did you feel about the service I provided you? Oh, it was great. We increased our sales. We got 3 new sales. Perfect. You have a number. You have a number now. Jim Jones got 3 new sales this week. Now, if you don't have any customer testimonials, number one, get some.
Yeah,
go to your best customer
for free or something, just to get some testimonials.
And that's kind of my next point there is like, if you haven't even moved, but it's great that you're there intuitively, right? Like if you haven't even sold your product yet, like you probably should form like a little group and just give it to them.
But for me,
to
it's not
get the feedback.
I don't do it just for sales though. I do it because I want to know that this thing is actually going to impact people. That's actually going to be what, like before I accept money from someone for this, like I want to know, like I want to feel good when I sell it. And when someone makes a transaction, I want to feel good about that transaction. And so, so that's why I test it with a lot of people, usually for free the first few times, and then charging a little bit. And then like right now I'm working on a thing called Story Labs with another guy, and him and I are like co-doing this thing. And I'm only like, we just finished the content. I am really excited about it. It's like, oh my God. Well, I don't want to sell it here, but it's like, it's really, really good. It's amazing. But as good as I think it is, like a group's going to go through it and they're going to poke tons of holes in it that I never knew existed until I did that, So big. We're going to let some people do that first of all.
We call that a beta group, and it's part of everything we do. For example, we just launched a course called the Video Sales Machine. But before we launched it in January, we had a group in October taking it live for the very first time and seeing if it worked. And the whole point of that was to gather our actual proof.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't have actual proof, go get some, go find some. It is perfectly legitimate to leverage family and friends for this. Perfectly legitimate. That being said, let's have them experience the product as well. Let's not just have our friends and family write us up something nice. The other part of that is if you've got a business on Yelp, for example, I know Roger, the expert plumber, is in the audience right now. Roger has a plumbing business, but his clients, he teaches plumbers how to use video and how to grow their plumbing business. His clients also have testimonials on Yelp and on Google reviews. Go to your Google reviews and pull your testimonials. I don't care if it was from 2015. Just grab that testimonial and include it in your video. And so you're moving from hey, we have got the grow your tree in 30 days or less, and you get a bag of seeds, you get a plant, you get free consult, you get this course, you get all this stuff. But it's not don't just take my word for it. Roger, the expert plumber, he bought one of our rose bushes, and look what he had to say. My rose bushes within 30 days were looking great. And look at Jim from Cincinnati. He's saying, I've got 3 rose bushes and they look fantastic, and so on and so forth. So you want to be providing actual proof. In fact, you need to be providing actual proof to set yourself apart from everyone else who is just selling emotion, right? Like, it's very important to be emotional, but here's what happens. We buy things for emotional reasons. I bought this shirt because I look good in it.
Is that what your wife told you?
Yeah. And I took her.
Like asking
your
moms, you're like, they have to say that. That's nice.
Yeah, I know. Right. My mom would never tell me that I looked good in a shirt. Owen, let me tell you, right?
I'm here to tell you the truth about that shirt. Okay.
Oh my goodness gracious. Right. Now I'm struggling to hold back the tears. But it was an emotional decision. I don't know what it's made out of. I like to golf. I've been golfing 3 times, but I'm not a golfer. It's Callaway shirt. It's an emotional decision. But what happens when I'm out there, I'm looking at 4 shirts and which one do I buy? And I'm like, well, this one's a golf shirt. It's got a logo on it. And what's it made out of? Like, oh, polyester, it won't shrink. All of a sudden, I'm using the facts to justify the emotion. Okay, and this is how most people make purchase decisions. And so you want to have a great video, but provide them the actual proof, because as they're stirring it over in their heads, what they're doing is they're looking for logical justification to make the purchase. And you have to give them that. Hey, you should buy this. You should invest in this because look what happened for Jim. Look at what happened for Sally. In fact, Gracie Ruth, who's a LinkedIn marketing coach, she joined my mastermind because of the testimonials. And I think that speaks to the power behind all that. So finally, that brings us to T. And again, nobody is doing this. Earlier, I talked about wimpy language, and I'm so important on that because I stress that so much because sort of the message in the culture is be nice to everybody. Don't take a firm stance. You might offend somebody. And while I agree that kindness is just so important in our world, there's also a big problem in the clarity of our language. I was hiring a soccer coach for my kids. I wanted them to catch up on the years that they missed, because we were in martial arts for the first couple years of their life, and now we're transitioning to soccer where the kids aren't as good as their other. So I wanted to get a coach, and I get this coach out. He's a younger guy, and I go, hey, would you be willing to coach my kids on the side? We work out a payment structure. And he goes, yeah, but here's the thing, man. Like, can't really commit to a day or time. So maybe you could just call me and I'll see if I'm around. Okay. I'm like, all right. So I could just call you like after work-ish. And he's like, well, I may go out after work, so I don't know. Like, maybe we'll just kind of see where it goes. I said, Tommy, do you even want to do this? Oh, no, yeah, sounds great. Sounds great, right? This is how he was selling me his soccer coach stuff. Very, very wimpy, weak language. Instead, you need to be very clear, and that brings us to T. Tell them what to do. Tell them what to do. This is your call to action. This is where you say, click on the link beside this video. That's on Facebook. If you're on YouTube, it's going to be click on the end card or click on the eye that you see on your screen now, or click on the link in the description box, or, ask Alexa. Alexa, visit the Owen video channel on YouTube. Oh, crap. It's going to go off. Sorry if I turned on all your Alexas. But putting that very, very specific call to action in the video, what a lot of people are doing are they're saying, so yeah, check it out, bro. Like, it's cool.
I heard that the call to action, learn more. If you say, hey, click the link below to learn more or something, learn more is the most passive call to action. And it actually, the least amount of people follow through. If you just tell, hey, you want to learn more? People are like, education. Yay, I love learning more.
Yeah. Can I get a book too? Is there a pamphlet I can read? Look, it's interesting, Tim, because Learn More 2 years ago was the #1 CTA button.
But now it's click the link below to register, and we'll see you on Tuesday or something.
Yes, exactly. And it's not going to be. It needs to be a measurable call to action. So you're going to lose them on this like, you're going to lose them on like, call me, right? Call me tomorrow, or like give us a call, or like reach out to us. Don't say check out. In fact, check out is on our company's words of a list of never to use phrases. Never say check out my video or check this out. What is that? Check out means to like tune out. It means to not even pay attention at all. Like we don't, who wants a check mark next to their names? Like checks are old. There's a guy doing checks in front of me at the store. I want to rip my head off. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so be very, very specific. Click on the link in this video. Go visit my link in the description box. Wherever you've decided where that CTA is, put it there specifically. One of the things I really hate is like, kind of like, and we've all done it. So if you've done it, it's not a thing. I've done it too. First of all, guys, all of the mistakes I talk about making, I've learned from myself, and the mistakes I've coached other business owners in. I come to you with a certain confidence of like, look, I've owned that I've given advice to a business owner and it's blown up in our faces, right? And that's caused me to find the system that works, because who wants a business that, like Tim was saying, where a product doesn't work? Yeah. So you've got to be very specific about what that call to action is. I don't want you to do this thing where you're like, oh, click on one of the things. They're around here somewhere. I'm just a YouTuber. Wah, wah, Like, you want to be in a place where you're like, click on the link below, because look, this product is going to change your world.
I do that in the end of my videos. Instead of just saying, click another video to keep going, which is like what sometimes people do. I say like, hey, if you really want to learn, or for example, like if you now that you know how to design your thumbnails, you need to know how to do that for mobile. I put together a short playlist for you. Click this spot right here on your screen to get into that short playlist, and I'll see you guys in that next video. Yeah. So I'm telling them exactly what to do, and my click-through rates have definitely increased since I started doing that about a year ago, going from like 0.7 to 1% to 20-ish percent click-through rates on those.
Okay, so let me kind of talk about the value of the click-through rate, guys. Like on Facebook ads, right? And even if you guys hate Facebook, on Facebook, your brands and sponsors are looking at cost per click. They're looking at these probably like $6 to $10 cost per click. So, if I'm advertising nursery products, I call them shrubberies because I watched Monty Python recently. But, you're selling. In fact, I'm going to be at the DGA gardening conference in just a couple of months. So it's kind of a big topic for me right now. But if you're selling these items, then you need to sell the item. You need to get the item moved in a very specific way. So your audience is not like wondering, how do I get it? Where do I grab it from? Those things aren't wandering around in their minds. Just be very, very clear and be cool about it, right? I love this. So if you, then, right? If then statements are very powerful. Look, so if you are looking to grow your shrubbery the least amount of time without any headaches, then click on the link in the description box now, order your first pair of shrubberies, and let me know how it was, because I would love to hear from you. Yeah. Right. And that's an example of how you could be, I got distracted on click-through rate. They might be paying a 10% click-through rate, but if you do a video or $10 click-through rate, if you can do a video that lowers their click-through to like $3 or $4, then you have a very viable and competitive channel. Right? The better you make your videos for sponsors, the more sponsors you'll attract, which is okay. We attract a lot of sponsors and it can get busy, but keeping the good sponsors, now that is gold.
Yep, totally. Got some really good questions from you guys. We have a few minutes here. I want to try to do as many of these as possible. First of all, the super chats. Thank you, Mr. Big Kid, for the $2. Says, thanks for the great info as always. Definitely helps. You're welcome. And then first 1,000 hours super chat said, here's a small certificate of appreciation. So $2 super chat, 2 certificates of appreciation. Thank you. I appreciate that. And that's definitely how I think about it now. So we had a few questions, Owen, asking basically, how do you know what to sell? Like, yeah. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Like I have comic books, like Art by Gallon says, I create and sell comic books. Like, what problem am I solving with that? Most people, it seems like in the entertainment space, are trying to figure out, what do I actually create and sell if I'm just giving people a good time or something like that?
Yeah, I love that question, and it's a fair and legitimate question, but really there is just so much to be said about determining what to sell to your audience. I work with a guy named Dan Norton. He's in my mastermind group, and he's a small creator. He's brand new. He's actually doing very well on LinkedIn, more so than YouTube. But he came to me with that same issue. He joined the mastermind because he wasn't selling anything. And he's like, hey, dude, I'm paying for your thing. Like, I need to sell something now. So I told him this. I said, look, Dan, you're a video guy, sell video. Here's the packages. I gave him my template because I used to sell video. And I was like, just sell this. And it's like, you go to a business, you shoot these 10 shots, you edit it into one video, and they're happy. And then you upsell to 5 videos, like this whole program, right? So he takes it home, and then he comes to me the next day and he's like, Owen, I've decided that I can't sell this. It's not me. He says, I work a full-time job. I can't just go out to a business during business hours and film them. But what I can do is I can edit someone's existing footage. And so I want to do that now. Like, I want to just create an editing package. We built that editing package out for him. And then he boosted, he kind of shared it on Facebook and like all these different groups and stuff. $800 in recurring monthly revenue that week, the same week he launched the product. Okay. So I want to share that as a story to give you hope that you can find a product. Now, as an entertainment channel, let me give you my umbrella advice. My umbrella advice starts back in 1987. We had a black and white TV in my bedroom. All 3 of us shared a room. And I would watch Steve Martin in black and white. It was a black and white TV on SNL reruns. And I remember watching Steve Martin being like, I want to be funny like him. Guys, Art by Gallon, your audience is watching you because they probably want to learn how to do what you're doing, right? They're watching you because they're going like, I want to do what Gallon's doing. So the biggest tip that I have for entertainment creators is to teach what you're doing, right? And you can do that in a Patreon group. You can do that with a ClickFunnels membership area. And I do believe you should charge for this. This $5 monthlies, I don't believe in that. I believe in like a $47 monthly, right? Or a $97 monthly. And I will teach you everything that I know how to do. Here's the thing too, is that our community is aching for this right now. We're aching for hard skills. And when I say hard skills, the public education system, I'm kind of going into politics here, but like, it's so general. Like it pops you out with like general skills. Like I know how to live at home and get dressed at this point. People want to learn how to do things. They want to learn how to make comic books or upload to YouTube. So teach them that, right?
So you're saying as someone who's like, hey, I'm making comic books. So you're saying you need to teach other people how to make comic books? What about the people? What if they have a channel? It's just like people who just want to enjoy comic books though and don't want to make them. My educated guess is that there are people in your audience that want to learn how to do that. And that's why they're watching you. I think you can agree, Tim, that on your channel, there's a ton of video creators that want to teach YouTube. Probably. Yeah. I don't,
right?
That's not what I teach. So I'm not teaching them how to teach YouTube. I'm teaching them like how to dominate it themselves. And,
right.
But yeah, so yeah, you can teach them how to do what you're doing. That's certainly one way that a lot of people are having success with that. I think another thing to consider is like, especially for like in a vlogging or gaming niche, like if it's gonna be a little bit harder to sell, like, hey, I'm gonna teach you how to play video games. People are like, I don't know. I think what a lot of this is revolving around the entertainment space is a couple things. One is a sense of community. People are like really, what they want is they like watching these creators because they like you and they like the community. They like what you're all about. And there's like maybe a mission behind it, or there's a belief, some sort of creed that ties the community together. And so they want to feel like they're a part of something. You can sell community all day long in like a lot of different ways, you know? Whether that be private Facebook groups or Patreon, as like you suggested, Owen, or that be meetups or events or
my first group. Okay, I got invited to do a webinar with a very well-known sales expert, and I'm like all high and mighty. I'm so cool. I get on the plane and I realize I have nothing to sell to them. So I went to a website called freeconferencecall.com and I set up a 800 number conference line. This is before Zoom. I mean, this is probably like Zoom was probably out, but nobody was using it, right? Bandwidths were low. I created a group. I created a community, and that's what I sold, and I sold thousands of dollars on it. Now, that came from largely the invite for the audience, so I'm not saying it was so good, but it's so easy to start community groups where it's like private. It's like, hey, it's a Zoom thing I do, and
Discord
only my
servers are big around gamers and stuff too.
I love it. Yeah. Now can I answer the BMX kind of question too? Like, for example, riding BMX. And again, this kind of goes into the all entertainment sort of areas. Like you could be selling BMX parts, right? Today's video is dedicated to this particular part. And I want you guys to go and to grab it. It's the same with the art by Gallon. Like maybe now you're selling some of the art that you've been working on, right? There's so many different ways to come up with what you could sell. Like the hardcore best way to do it, like you were to come into my courses and the way we're going to teach it in the school is ask your audience in a live stream. Just go live and ask them like, hey, if I were to produce something for you guys, like a product or a service or a thing, what would it be, right? And get that feedback from your audience. And I believe that they'll tell you pretty clearly. We do surveys every year, and it tells us what courses to work on. Largely, it's a lot of the same courses. You know, it's like YouTube marketing, Facebook marketing, that type of thing. But it lets us know that we're creating stuff the audience will buy. It's a very bad idea to like come up with an idea and then not put it out there first, because you might launch that product to no fanfare.
Yeah, I think it's important. Like what we do with our clients is we say, first of all, figure out your target audience.
Yeah.
Your most ideal customer / subscriber / viewer. You know, who is that person that you're going after? And then what's your value proposition? What value do you propose to deliver to that audience through your content on YouTube? And that's like your first transaction is like on a really low level is, can I get someone to click and give me watch time while I give them good value? That's like, the most found, like the smallest first micro transaction. And then it's like, well, can I get them to subscribe in order for more videos and ongoing content? And then it's like, well, can they become, I'm making this up now, but like $5 community member, like of a member of my channel for exchange for behind the scenes, you know, and you just kind of can go up that way. But I think the reason people start making transactions with like a subscription or money is because they know what value they're going to get and they want to consume more of that value because they feel like that's a value that's important to them or valuable to them in some way. And so then it's like, once you know that, it's like, well, how do I then just sell 10x of that same value in a format people are willing to pay for? So that's why understanding like this is actually about community versus comic books, or about feeling like we have control over our lives versus just blowing stuff up in video games, or like whatever it might be, like knowing what the actual deeper seated thing is that people feel that's causing them to want to enjoy the games or the vlogs or the whatever. That's like understanding what that deeper thing is, creating a creed or a belief around that, because the strongest communities always revolve around they don't revolve around common interests. They revolve around shared beliefs. So knowing what that shared belief is and then selling that, I think, is like a great way for these entertainment channels to, like, they just got to think about what their brand is, what they're actually selling. So like Disney isn't actually selling roller coasters. Like Disney Parks is selling an experience with your family, when the rest of your life and your family rhythm is taking you apart in different directions, you know? So that's what they're actually selling.
We spent, Disney should sell like insoles for your shoes, because I hate that place. We went 12 hours, 4 rides in 12 hours, but that's just me. Nick Nimmin is in the chat. Great to see you. So good. You know, Galen just said he polled his audience, 80% want tutorials. And it just goes back. Like when we're watching people, there is a percentage that's like, I want to do that. And so we teach one, each one teach one, you know what I mean? And teaching is so great, but think about the products you use. I spoke about this at ClamorCon. Like if you're gaming, but you're always gaming in a Callaway shirt and you're always eating, nacho chips or whatever, like reach out to those providers and say, sponsor my channel, right? So now all you're doing is taking a little breather to eat a chip, you know, that for which you're getting paid a commission for. Sean Cannell, our good friend, made a fortune on YouTube before he was even like famous, right? He would talk about a camera and provide a link to the camera to buy it on Amazon. And he did very well with just selling affiliate products on Amazon. And so I think it does come down to thinking about it, putting in some real effort into putting thought into it, and then moving forward on it for a year, right? Don't do one sales video and then bounce, right? Like sales is rejection, guys. Sales is like you're putting yourself out there and you are putting yourself in a position to get a hard yes or a hard no. I come from classic sales, man. Like I used to work at a company that had a call center. They'd call people up randomly, knock on their doors, sell them an appointment. Like, he's going to come give you a bid. He's going to come give you an estimate. And then I had to come into their face, pitch them, and get that yes or that no, right? That was hard. And I did very well there. It's so much easier to just ask to your camera and do so with the smile, and then accept only the sales. You don't have to deal with the rejection. Nobody says no to your face, right? You're only dealing with the sales. Yeah. But the first time I sold something big on YouTube, like did a whole thing, the results were less than stellar. I was very upset by it. I went into darkness for 3 days, and just kind of didn't come out. In fact, I went to therapy for it, because this was not too long ago. What I learned though was that I was expecting an unrealistic results, and we did it again, and we actually had very similar results, just slightly bigger. And now instead of getting depressed, I was like, we're growing, right? It's working now. So
it's a skill, just like making videos, growing on YouTube. It's not like a 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. It's a like start now, you guys, like, and you'll develop the skill over time. And I think it's an important skill to learn, as we've talked about here.
Yeah.
Owen, if people want to find out more about you, where should they go?
Yeah, go check out my channel. I just told you guys never to say those words. Hey, click on my icon and visit my channel, Owen Video. We are about to launch a brand new series on how to use video to grow a business. It's content that you really haven't seen on YouTube from anyone else. We've been working on this for a while. It's why my channel's been a little quiet, but we're working on some brand new stuff. We're launching some of it this week. So go to my channel, subscribe, and stay in touch there, because I'd love to have you in the community. I'd love for you to network with other creators like you that are following my coaching and having success with it.
Awesome. Cool. You guys check out the link in the show notes. And sorry for missing you guys last week. I know, like, when I started this in the chat, was like, where were you? I was like, I was gone. But the podcast people still got an episode. So if you guys want to catch up on that, you can go check us out on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, all those places. And love to hang out with you guys there every Tuesday for those episodes. So, and if you are listening on one of those platforms, I would love it if you just take a second or three to just leave us a review, give us a star rating, and let us know what you think about the show, and let other people know about what you think as well. It really does help us out, and it helps the channel, it helps the podcast grow. So, thank you guys for being a part of this, and thank you, Owen, for hanging out with us here. And we will see you guys again next week. I will be in my new house next week. This is my last live stream from my empty office. So you podcast people probably don't care, but the rest of you guys, I will be in a new place next week. So looking forward to that. We'll see you guys then. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.